All right, everybody, we are live tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the PowerLink Expo. Today, we're going to be talking with Jacqueline Garrett and Bobby Durrell, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's going to be going on at the PowerLink Expo coming up on May the 18th and 19th. This expo is going to take place at the Christian Life Center in Fort Walton Beach, and we are super excited about it being able to take place at this place because it's going to give us an expansion on helping small businesses grow. Today, thank you, Jacqueline, for coming in, and thank you, Bobby, for coming in. We're going to have a small discussion about what's going to take place at the PowerLink Expo. We're going to start with you, Jacqueline. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
So hi, thank you for having me here. I'm sitting out in the back enjoying the Florida sunset, and I am the founder of Whistleblowers of America. We started in 2017 as a nonprofit that is very much focused on the when people make a disclosure, and then if they suffer retaliation, discrimination, harassment, bullying in the workplace, and we try to help them work through those distressful situations and be able to be better prepared to deal with what they need for their disclosures, for their cases, and then for their own personal resilience. How do you solve these problems and find coping strategies?
Okay. So at the event, whenever you're going to be hosting one of the workshops, is that correct?
Correct?
Yay. Yeah. I'm excited about this. Okay, and so at the event, one of the things that you're gonna be talking about is how business owners can, if they have someone that has something that is going on within their company, how they can handle it. What are some of the takeaways from that workshop that people can look at and be able to see?
So that's a great question. So what do we know are the lessons that we learn from when we get involved in these cases where there's been wrongdoing is that there's such a thing as right doing and continuous process improvement. And what we need are processes and systems that allow us to move forward in a positive constructive way so that these things don't become adversarial and they can mediate these things in a way that's healthy for all the employees, but also for the business owner, for the business. And we have to remember that customers or beneficiaries are impacted when they know that something's not right. You know, they hear the disgruntled employees, they don't get the level of customer support that they thought they were going to get. So these problems trickle through the entire system of an organization. And so if we can get to these things and deal with them in a less adversarial, without all the stress, and be open to the dialogue and hearing things, then I think we can do a better job of resolving things before they become super problems.
Okay, I have a question for you. If, as an employer, how would a person deal with someone that's giving a false claim? Is that something that happens on a regular basis?
So it does happen. As a matter of fact, I just had this conversation today with an HR manager who was trying to understand how she could move forward with somebody who was a chronic complainer or a frequent flyer, as I've heard people call them, because they keep filing and filing. So one is to understand really maybe more of the situation and understand more about the background. Because when I deal with whistleblowers, I take a very trauma-informed perspective, which means that they've gone through something that has been traumatic. They have felt victimized. So what's behind all of that? Have they filed other complaints and feel like they've never been heard? Have they been gaslit? Are they being told, oh, you're making too much of it? Like there was one lady who was talking about she works in a place where they're not they're not adhering to all of the safety standards. They're touching food, they're moving food products, and she's complained. So they call her the food Nazi. And instead of like listening to what she has to say, everybody's like, oh, you're making too much out of it. It's a big deal. When she's saying, no, but these are the rules, and we have these rules um, for the sake of protecting our students. She works in a school. So it's these become the little things. And so when I was talking to the HR manager, I was like, you really need to peel back that onion and find out what's going on with this person and with her coworkers, that this thing has become so hostile. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. That's actually really awesome. So those are some of the things that you'll probably be touching on in the workshop.
Correct.
Okay, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, if you are watching this particular episode of the Power Link coming to you, please drop into the post number one. Let us know that you hear us, that you see us. Just put the power link, or no, don't even put that. Put get linked up, because that's going to be one of the biggest things we want to see, that you actually see this and that you're hearing what we have to say. Let me tell you, the PowerLink Expo is going to be one of the largest business expo that's going to take place on the Northwest Gulf Coast area. It's going to be something that you're able to come to. It's pretty much free. It's going to give you a great opportunity for you to get all the workshops that you need to get in as far as, like, business is concerned. We have a lot of wonderful workshops. As you can hear, Jacqueline Garrick is going to be giving you some information that is really going to be detrimental if you are a business owner and you have employees that may be disgruntled. This is a good opportunity for you to come and learn and see, what's going on. Hey, Crystal, we see you too. That's right, you are coming, girl. Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. um, but yes, if you are a business owner, this is an opportunity for you to actually grow your business. It's not anything that you have to worry about. All you have to do is register. Just get online, go to the PowerLink Expo, and register and be a part of this. With that being said, Jacqueline, let's talk a little bit more. Oh, before I do that, let me just say this also. I would like to thank Bantucola, who is a powerful sponsor for the event. Everything that we have going on here is because of Bantucola. So thank you so much for being a part of this event and actually allowing us to get information out there. We appreciate that. So with that being said, Jacqueline, let's talk a little bit more, because I know that we all got little things to do, and then we're going to touch on some stuff with Bobby, and we're going to go home because I'm hungry and I know that everybody else is hungry. Yay! So, okay, so with that being said, so sometimes you have repeat offenders, but let me ask you, whenever you have someone that is a first time offender, um, are are there referrals to like counseling, or how does that work whenever you're doing what you do?
Well, so first, I think we have to destigmatize whistleblowing, right? So I don't like to think of people who make complaints as offenders. They're really your right doers. They're trying to protect your customers, your organization, their coworkers, right? They usually are the people who have seen something wrong and they're saying something about it. So I
Right.
think the first step is to be open to hearing that conversation, and being able to sit down in an open, honest dialogue and have that conversation. It's part of, again, it should be part of a normal continuous process improvement to listen to your whistleblowers. And it's easy to change the culture around that by creating awards and recognitions for people who find something wrong, bring it to your attention, and you can work together to solve it. Not all the time are the whistleblowers right about everything, but usually this goes a lot better when they feel heard and listened to, and incorporate them into being able to solve the problem or address the issue and work on the plan, because that's a way of diffusing this hostile negative environment. You want them engaged. You want to hear what they have to say. You hired these people for a reason. Now let's work on resolving the problems that they bring up.
And so, one last question, and after that, I'll stop harping on you because you're like, "Yay, I'm answering the questions." What happens if you have a person that's a whistleblower that comes in and says whatever needs to be said, but the employer is unwilling to change? How does that affect anything?
Well, that can be where this gets difficult, right? And it really depends what's at stake. Um, so most of the whistleblowers I deal with are usually dealing with some kind of fraud, medical upbilling, wrongful deaths in a medical situation. So we had like a whistleblower who was saying that the doctor wasn't following standards of care. Well, that meant patients died, and
Wow.
the administration didn't want to do anything about it. And so that person started to go to families. And when families got involved, then things really blew up. And investigations um, went much more broad than if we would have addressed the standard of care issue the nurse originally brought up. We see that in banking with fraud, in contracts where people are upbilling the government. So there's a lot to be gained from dealing with whistleblowers in an honest way, and that for an organization, an employer, even a small business, to know what the whistleblower rights and rules are, to know what your federal and state obligations are, to know and make sure that people are informed, because you have a legal obligation to inform people about their whistleblower rights and their discrimination rights, so that those things can be properly addressed. Because I've seen where companies have been fined and cited for not sharing that information properly. I mean, just the education and training involved in this is important, and we need to make sure that employers are aware of what they're supposed to inform their employees about. And I think you all have those. Somewhere, every organization should have one of those posters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You see them everywhere, usually in the bathroom.
Equality rights. That's right. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, and I'm really glad that you're going to be a part of the workshops that people can learn and grow as far as business owners are concerned. Because sometimes business owners get a little afraid when they hear the term whistleblower. They get afraid of
Hmm.
the term when they hear that someone is telling on them
Yeah.
of something that might be going wrong instead of coming to them first. But or they get upset because they have been spoken to by the employee, and then they want to try to do something because they feel like they're backed into a corner. But you're going to give them some really good sound advice concerning how to handle this, as opposed to just saying, well, you're fired, because it doesn't always work. So
Well,
yeah.
and firing the whistleblower can really backfire, because now
Absolutely.
you've just violated their rights, and now you're going to be in court for a whole other reason.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. That's just really great information. Okay, so hang tight. I'm going to talk a little bit more to a couple of more things with you, but I'm going to talk to Bobby Durrell now, because he's been sitting quietly and patiently waiting for his turn. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, again, the Power Link is brought to you by this live stream is brought to you by Bantucola. Thank you so much for being a part of this, Bantucola. You guys are awesome. Yay. But we're going to talk to Bobby Durrell today, and he's going to give some information about his workshop that's getting ready to come out. First, give us a little bit about who you are, Bobby. Tell us what you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely, Catrice. So, I'm a native son of the Emerald Coast. One of the few people that were actually born here. As a matter of
Really,
fact,
if I wasn't, I was
I
not.
have a lot of fun with my kids right now, and I point out that the hospital that I was born in is now a retirement home. So I've got a
Wow.
pretty good chance of going out the same place I came in. Um, just keep that in mind. But
Okay.
no, I born and raised here. The first generation born here, but the third generation to come up here. Um, my grandfather moved back here in 1947. My family was around and really watched this area grow after that boom right after the Air Force. I did move away for about 20 years and came back about 10 years ago. And when I came back, I really felt like a piece of this area had changed. A lot of big national brands, a lot of chain stores, a lot of big box stores had moved in, and we had kind of lost that hometown feeling. And so for about 10 years, I've been working on this idea of how do we get shop local back? How do we get that shop local revolution going? And so that's what brought us to the Emerald Coast Connected app that we launched in November. It's the only social media mobile app that there is on the Emerald Coast. All the other guys are out of Menlo Park, San Francisco, Seattle. I'm right here. This is what we do. You won't find us advertising Starbucks and Walmart in my app. No, it's about the local businesses, the local people coming together. It's about you getting with your neighborhoods, and it's about connecting and bringing that sense of community back that we had for so long here and that we've just recently lost. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's where I come from, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to check in the soapbox real quick and let you. I know you probably have a question or two to ask, but
So I want
I
to
can
say,
get
I want to
excited
back
and
off of
passionate
this a
about
little
this.
bit because I hear what you're saying. One of the reasons why we started the PowerLink was because we noticed all of the big boxes coming in. We noticed all of the chain stores coming in, and the little guys, which are the small businesses, were being left behind. And it really hit me during the oil spill
Mhm.
when like the big boxes and the chain stores and the chain restaurants were still doing fine, but
Oh yeah.
the local businesses were the ones that were suffering like really tremendously. And so because of that, I began to do research on different things as far as how I could help small businesses in the local area, and this is how the
Mhm.
PowerLink began. And
Yeah.
so with that being said, I hear you because um, we are the backbone of this country. Small businesses,
Mhm.
we are the backbone of the country, and we don't get half of the things that we should be getting. And that's why what you said really resonates with me because we're not respected like we should be as far as
Well,
business.
absolutely, and you know, somebody taking out and deciding to open a small business, what the unsurmountable odds that they're against is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
50% of them are not going to make it past the first year. 80% of them aren't going to make it past 5 years, and of those that make it past 5 years, something like 90% of them fail to make it to 10. And I
Wow.
think what it comes back to is it's a lack of support. It's a lack of a community knowing how to get to them, a community resolving to them, or quite frankly, you know, you can just be bought out of this market. I mean, those big
Absolutely.
box stores come in and they want to grow out. I mean, come on, let's. How many of us have heard around here some tourists say, "Oh man, we're gonna go get some really good seafood tonight. I can't wait to get the Red Lobster."
Yeah, like that blows my mind.
Right?
And so, okay,
You know.
so the young lady, Crystal, she just said hello. She's gonna come to the event. Her name is Crystal. She's with JoJo's Beauty Supply. She's the only
Mhm.
Black-owned beauty supply store here in Pensacola. And she has people that are from the chain stores like Sally's and other places
Mhm.
going to her store and then contacting people to tell them not to sell stuff to her. And it's like, well, how is she supposed to survive if they're contacting the people the distributors and telling them not to sell to her? That's not fair. But you
Yeah.
have that kind of stuff going on a regular basis, and it's time for it to stop because it really just lights my fire. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to leave it there. But yeah,
Well,
so go ahead.
and you know, that kind of comes back to what I want to talk about in the workshop and the things that I want to talk about. And I know, Catrice, we talked about it a little bit. It's based largely
Yeah.
off of uh, John Maxwell, as I
Mhm.
because I am a certified coach and trainer, and through him. And he's got one book that I love. As a matter of fact, you'll even notice that part of the name is in my name, and it's "Everyone Communicates, Few Connect." Right, and that's the one thing. Those big box stores, they can out communicate us. They can.
Yes, they
They've got the
can.
money. They can spend the ad money. They can throw the resources at it that we can't, because you know what they're going to do. If they need to put more money here, they're going to go take it away from another community and put it here, only so long as that they can build this up, that they can begin
Yep.
to pillage us, and then
Yes.
they'll pillage and plunder us to go take the money somewhere else and to sit it back to their G5s and all their other Gulf Streams and all those things. Like I said, I can get passionate on this. I'm trying to not sound like a crazy conspiratorial nut, but they can out
It's okay.
communicate
We're
us.
all like that right
But
now.
what they can't do, what they absolutely cannot do, is out connect with us. And that's the one thing you have when you're a small business owner and you're in an area. You have the ability, you have the obligation to connect with your clients, connect with your community, and you can connect in a way that those big box stores can't touch it. And it's through that connection, that knowing, liking, and trusting, it's through that connection. That's where you build. That's where the support comes in. That's where it is. But you can't try to out communicate them. I tell people all the time, you're spending money on ads that you're just going to get overplayed. I mean, talk. Don't try to figure the way to push a button and talk to a million people. Talk to one person. Reach out to one person. Connect with one person, because that one person you connect with, when you connect with them, they're going to tell everybody else, oh my gosh, go see this person, go talk to them. That's who I need to talk to, right? If you're always providing value and putting value in people's lives and connecting with them, that's where you get those connections. That's where you get that business. That's where that support comes from.
That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, okay, you basically gave us the takeaways, so I can't even ask that question now, really. So let me ask you this question. When you say people have to learn how to connect with each other, what are some of the things that they can do as far as connection is concerned? Don't give us like the workshop. Just give us like
No.
bits and pieces.
Here's the easiest way. You connect with people you trust. And how do you build trust? Well, you build trust by extending trust and extending vulnerability. And if you're not willing to say, if you're not willing to open up and be vulnerable, if you're not willing to show people what's going on, then you're never going to get that connection with them. People laugh all the time, and I have other people say, Bobby, you give away too much. You could charge for this. You can charge for that. I can, but why would I? That's not what this is about, right? I want to build people up. I want to lift people up. It's just a quick story to kind of bring that in. Had a client that I was working with a couple of weeks ago. We're doing a current ad campaign where it's every business has a story. And I've opened it up. I've said, anybody that wants to send me a video, tell me the story of their business. We'll put it out on social media. We'll pay for the boost in social media and get it to the local group so that people can hear about you, just because I want people to hear about you. And I had my one client reach back to me, and she's like, well, I'm really, really nervous. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, look, it's just pick up the phone, talk into the phone for 30 seconds. Give me your reason why. And if you can't do that, if you'll call me, I'll come home, hold the phone for you. I'll hold the phone on you and let you talk for 30 seconds just to get this done, because I want to get it out there for you. Right? Wow. That's just little ways that you connect with people. Hey, if this is the thing scaring you, let me take that scary part away. Right? Let me do that for you.
That is so powerful, because when it comes to small businesses, a lot of times we look at things and we think that no one's in our corner. Right. And we're so busy ourselves trying to get out there and sell and do what we need to do to make it in business. But we forget that in order for us to really get the business that we're looking for, we have to know how to connect with other people. And sometimes it's doing the little things that allows us to connect. And so go ahead.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yes, I'm your amen chorus on that. The funny thing about being an entrepreneur and a small business owner is one, we get afraid of making mistakes and not being able to pronounce big words on live streams, but that's okay. It happens. And the other part is we think everything has to be perfect. We think we've got to get it all right. We've got to have it all spit and polished. We've got to have it all perfect. You know what? Sometimes it's just that genuinity to it, right? Yes. My sales manager and I threw together something about a month ago. We were passing it around, probably gave out 150 flyers out, and realized that I had, the big word, right, that was real big in the call to action, absolutely spelled wrong. And it was absolutely, by the way.
I do that all the time.
Transpose the E and the L. But, what are you going to do? I mean, it happened. I had a great laugh about it. Anybody that pointed it out to me, I was like, man, you should really start editing my stuff. I'll send it to you. Right? Hey, I need help. I admit it. I can't get it all right.
And that's what, and that's again what makes business owners. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about at the event also is the whole networking aspect. We have a panel discussion that's going to be coming out. and it deals with networking and being able to talk to people and allow them to mentor you as business owners. But you can't even have that happen if you don't have the right connections or the people that you can trust, that you're willing to put your business in their hands so they can tell you the truth about certain things. And so what
Mhm.
you're going to be offering really kind of stems like that, kind of is like the door opener for that particular workshop. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's that connection. I believe that connection is what transcends communication. Right? We all communicate with each other. I mean, we've all seen it. We watched it through COVID. We are a more quote connected society through social media today,
Yeah.
with no connections. I mean, we have likes, we have posts, we have friends, we have all these things that have been redefined, but yet we have people sitting around disconnected, disassociated with society, with their local community. I mean, it's a real issue that's going on, and
It
so that's
really
one thing that
is.
I want to see change. Is we've got to find a way to re-engage with one another
So
in a deeper level.
give me one thing that you think that we, one way that we can connect. What's one good way that we can connect?
So I'm a huge fan of habits of highly successful people. Right, the 7 habits of highly successful people. So this is how I live my life. This is the thing that I try to do, and people hear from me all the time. Seek first to understand, then be understood.
Okay.
Right now we are trying. This is a society comment, right? And you're absolutely right, Crystal. I apologize. I have gotten behind the pulpit and I am preaching now, but we try so hard to get people to just understand us, and we say, if I could only be understood, if I could only be understood, and we're not taking long enough to understand the person next to us. So
That's
take that
correct.
time, understand. When it's your customer coming in, what do they really need? What are they asking for? What do they want? Not what can I sell them? What do they want? What do they need? What service can I provide to them? The money will come later. It'll come. It'll
Mm.
come. I promise it'll come. But what service, what value can I instill in this person's life? And you know what? I will tell you right now, some of the people that I've really given the boat away to, uh, they may never have the money to come back and pay me, but boy, do they sing praises? Do they turn people up? The people come running to you from that. So it's a scary thing, but yeah, seek first to understand, then try to be understood. That's my takeaway moment, I guess.
That is phenomenal, Bobby. Thank you so much. So,
Sure thing.
ladies and gentlemen, again, we are talking with Jacqueline Garrick and Bobby Durrell. They're going to be speakers at the event. They're going to be teaching workshops. And as you heard, Jacqueline's going to be talking about how business owners can handle problematic situations when it comes to whistleblowing. And then Bobby's going to be talking about how you can connect with people as opposed to just communicating with them. These are two powerful workshops. If you are a business owner, you do not want to miss this. You want to come and be a part of it. The workshops are free. All you have to do is register. If you go to www.thepowerlinkexpo.com, you'll be able to get in and be a part of the expo. Get linked up with this because this is going to be something that's going to help your company. And again, everything is pretty much free. The conferences you do have to pay for, and the speed networking you have to pay for. But that's because we're going to be providing food, and you're going to actually be meeting people hand to hand and talking to them about your business and the speed networking. But everything else is free for you to come and be a part of. So why not go ahead and register today so that you can make sure that you get your information out there so that people can learn more about you, and you can learn how to connect, and you can learn how to deal with employees that might be disgruntled, and you can learn how to be able to be an advocate for your family. We have all kinds of workshops that are going to be there. So just be a part of this event so that you can grow your business. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. I'm not going to take up that much more time. We have done our 30 minutes. I really appreciate both of you guys for coming out and speaking. I don't know about you, but my stomach clock went off, so I'm ready to eat now. But this is usually the time that I usually kind of get my eat on. So yes, but I
I
really
understand that.
appreciate you guys being a part of this. Again, thank you, Bantucola, for allowing us to use your live streaming. This is something that we just appreciate so much from you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please drop it in the post. We will be answering those questions later on down the road. But if you're interested in being a part of this particular event, please go to www.thepowerlinkexpo.com and register. So with that being said, good night. Thank you for listening. Crystal, you are my biggest
Thank
fan,
you.
girl. Yes. Woo, woo. All right. Have a wonderful night, guys. And thank you so much
Good
again.
night. Looking forward to seeing everybody soon.
Don't hang up.